Hello, everybody. We're here with the Western Writers of America, who are having their conference right now in Oklahoma City, and I'm chatting with Loren D. Estleman. Excuse me, I stumbled over your name there. Welcome to Oklahoma City. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
To read about it.
Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your new book. Now, we've talked about it on the show, but you tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a subject I've wanted to do for a long time. I've always been fascinated with Judge Isaac Parker, the hanging judge of Fort Smith, Arkansas, who had his jurisdiction covered the Western District of Arkansas and all of the nations, which we now know as Oklahoma. And he adjudicated for 21 years, sentenced 103 men to hang, I believe, hanged 79, which got him a lot of notoriety in the East. But when you look at the record, 65 federal deputy marshals who were writing for his court were murdered in that same time. So it kind of evens out between the good guys and the bad guys.
I suppose so. And three of the marshals that rode for Judge Parker are well known in Oklahoma, the three guardsmen.
The three guardsmen, Bill Tillman, Heck Thomas, and Chris Madsen.
And they are characters.
They are characters, yeah. That's it.
Now, you were telling me that this is the first book you've written, or at least fiction, or historical novel, that doesn't have any fictional characters.
Yeah, there are no, often with historical novels, I've often followed the lead of Sir Walter Scott, where he would thread his fictional characters in among historical people to move the narrative along, and that's usually the way the historical novels are done. But all of the characters that are involved with the Parker Chronicle are so fascinating, so dramatic, that I didn't need to do any of that. History was very accommodating in this case. As it often is.
Yeah, the bad guys in the book are a pretty colorful lot.
They really are. Well, when you write about Judge Parker, you get to write about Cole Younger and Belle Starr and Ned Christie and Cherokee Bill and the Daltons and Bill Doolin, fascinating characters.
Right. I wish they were better known to people outside of the territories.
Yeah, that's true.
Because their stories are just as colorful as that of Billy the Kid.
Oh, definitely, and in many cases more so. Billy the Kid here was a juvenile delinquent who in his own lifetime was unknown outside New Mexico territory. It was only Pat Garrett's book and the growing legend after his death that kind of added to him. He may have killed only 3 people as opposed to the so-called 21 people
one
for each year of his life. And meanwhile, you're looking at somebody like, say, the Rufus Buck Gang, who rampaged through the nations in 2 weeks and killed something like 14 people and raped and slaughtered their way across the nations before they came to justice.
Yeah, I really appreciated the fact that you don't romanticize these characters, that you really do tell their stories.
Warts and all on both sides. And
I
find they're more realistic, and in some cases more sympathetic, because you see all the sides of the person.
And Judge Parker does not speak highly of some of the other Western characters. I remember he doesn't have much nice to say about Wild Bill.
As he says, I detest men of violence, but I realize that these men are needed to restore peace in the nations. And he said, I don't want people like that preening fellow Hickok or that gang in Dodge City, meaning of course the Earps, because he said when they get separated off in the pack, they're cowards. He said, I want men of strong will, and they don't necessarily have to be a strong character, but the people who can do the job, and not necessarily nice people.
Well, you have a continuing character, Page Murdoch, from some Westerns. Are we going to see him anytime soon?
Yeah, Page will be back I believe they've got it scheduled for this next spring. He's a deputy U.S. Marshal that I've been writing about, since 1979. Working for a judge very much like Parker in Montana. I kind of modeled Judge Blackthorne on Parker. He was kind of my cat's paw before I got into the real Parker. And this new book is called The Book of Murdoch. And in this one, Murdoch poses as a minister to get his job done. It's kind of an old staple of Westerns, the gunman masquerading as a man of the cloth. And I had some fun with that.
William S. Hart did that at least once.
Yeah, he did. It's been done so many. Glenn Ford did it, you know. Marjo Gortner, for people who remember him, had I think a TV movie called The Gun in the Pulpit, and it's a great old staple.
Okay, will you do me a favor? Don't take any long vacations. I want you to write. All right?
I think I can promise you that. I'm
Keep
going to
busy
continue
for
with
us.
that. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We've been chatting with Loren D. Estleman, who is here in town for the Western Writers of America conference. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you for your time as well.
Okay,
I appreciate
we'll see you all again soon.
Great.